the One Piece manga has shifted its focus away from Egghead Island and has been covering the events that took place in Mariejo. The Terse Reverie arc did not reveal many details about what exactly went down in the Holy Land. Thankfully, Oda has expanded on the events and disclosed what exactly happened in Mariejo. The Revolutionary Army was responsible for most of the ruckus in the home of the Celestial Dragons. They went to Mariejo because they wanted to rescue Kuma from the clutches of the Celestial Dragons. However, they had other objectives that they wanted to accomplish, which included the destruction of the symbol of the Celestial Dragons and the food supplies in Mariejo, freeing the slaves. The revolutionaries were also trying to free the other slaves in Mariejo. Once the Revolutionary Army made their presence known, the soldiers stationed in Mariejo wasted no time in attacking them. However, Dragon's commanders made short work of them. So, the Marines had no choice but to send the admirals to stop the commanders. Surprisingly, the commanders managed to hold their ground and kept the admirals busy until Sabo had successfully recovered the keys. Karase used one of his crows to retrieve the keys from Sabo and free Kuma and the rest of the slaves. This enraged the Celestial Dragons even further, but there wasn't much that they could do about it. The disagreement. After freeing the slaves, the Revolutionary Army had to leave Mariejo in one piece, and it was never going to be an easy task. But the commanders had an ally who helped them free all the slaves. This person was none other than Admiral Fujitora. He is known for disobeying orders from higher-ups if they go against his moral principles. Fujitora went against Akainu's orders and apologized to the denizens of Dressrosa. His decision did not go down well with the fleet admiral, who admonished him and ordered him to never set foot on any other naval base. Given his actions in Mariejo, it seems that Fujitora didn't learn his lesson. However, he only did what he thought was right. Fujitora knows that the Celestial Dragons are evil, and they don't care whether their slaves live or die. So, he aided the Revolutionary Army in this particular task, and probably even allowed them to escape. According to Jabra, Fujitora's decision annoyed Ryokugyu, causing the latter to attack him. Who would have one? The big question on everyone's lips is who would have the tussle between the two admirals. For that, it is necessary to delve into their respective powers. Fujitora possesses the Zushi no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to control the gravitational force. He can use it to increase the gravitational pull over a specific area, immobilizing any person. Fujitora can also make meteors descend from the sky, which can cause widespread damage. Ryokugyu, on the other hand, has the Morimori no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that enables him to create and manipulate plant life. Ryokugyu displayed his devil fruit ability in the Wano Country arc while he drained moisture from the bodies of the beast's pirates. Following an easy victory, Ryokugyu made his way toward Luffy's location, but he was stopped by Momonosuke's group. The admiral nearly overwhelmed all of them, but he stopped his rampage after Shanks released a burst of Conqueror's Haki. As a result of training with the devil fruit, Ryokugyu's plants cannot be damaged by ordinary fire attacks. On the basis of feats, Fujitora holds the advantage. Ryokugyu can try to attack the blind admiral using vines and other things. However, Fujitora would crush them with a meteor from the sky. Fujitora also has extremely refined Kinbunchaku Haki, so he can dodge all the attacks effortlessly. The fight would be a close one, and it would end with Fujitora triumphant. Fujitora's fate. Fujitora might have achieved what he wanted, but he will suffer the consequences of his actions. He is already on thin ice because of his previous decisions, and Akainu will come under fire if he lets Fujitora walk free. Akainu tried banishing him the last time, but it didn't work, so he will have to enforce a tougher punishment on his underling. The obvious solution may seem to be to fire Fujitora, but it would leave an open spot among the admirals, and he can't afford to do such a thing right now. So Akainu might have to reprimand him again and place restrictions on Fujitora. Akainu has been having a very turbulent time ever since he became Fleet Admiral. He had to handle the alliance of Big Mom and Kaido, the invasion of Mariejo by the Revolutionary Army, and the formation of the Cross Guild. If it were up to Akainu, he would personally go to Wano and other places to eradicate the threats. However, his role as fleet admiral prevents him from leaving the headquarters and fighting criminals. With so many major events taking place all over the world, Akainu needs all the help he can get. Therefore, he cannot afford to lose Fujitora. And in other news, One Piece, Imu's past, explained. Imu is an extremely important character in One Piece, and, in the grand scheme of things, they are possibly the greatest villain in Oda's story. Although Imu was introduced rather recently, shortly after the events of the Whole Cake Island arc, they have gone on to become extremely important. Usually, one would expect Oda to have introduced Imu even further back into the story, yet their existence is fitting, given that their identity was kept secret from the entire world for centuries. Fans knew very little about Imu until recently, however. Now that One Piece has entered its final saga, the greatest of mysteries are finally being tackled in the story, and, as such, fans are also finding out bits about Imu's past. One Piece Chapter 1085 did great in that regard and revealed bits from their past to the fans. Imu's age. It is quite easy for the fans to know that Imu is not a character born into the current era. Imu is a person who has been alive for centuries upon centuries now. This would mean that they are actually immortal and, as far as what the story has revealed so far, there is only one way to attain immortality in the entire story. This would be with the powers of the Opp no Mi. The perineal youth surgery is known to be great enough to grant youth and perpetuity to whoever gets this surgery performed on them. In exchange, the person who performs this surgery ends up dying. It is very likely that Imu was able to get the surgery done on themselves long ago in the past, and that is why they have been alive for centuries upon centuries. Imu is certainly a relic from the old age, and that much is beyond any dispute. However, things are more interesting than just that. Judging by the way Imu talks and refers to themselves, it has been pointed out by many fans who understand their Japanese dialect that Imu actually talks in a childish manner. That could very well indicate that Imu is actually not an adult but a child or maybe a teen, like Luffy. This is further backed up by the size of this particular character. Imu does not look particularly tall or big. They have a very short body, which makes the idea that they could be a child even more convincing. Imu's past. Thanks to One Piece Chapter 185, fans also know bits about the past of Imu now. It was revealed by King Cobra that the name Imu isn't all that mysterious among the monarchs of the One Piece world, and this holds especially true for those who descended from the line of the 20 kings who once fought against the ancient kingdom. According to Cobra, he recognizes the name Imu, and there was actually one person either among the 20 or related to them with this name. Cobra certainly knew more about the person named Imu, however. Before he could finish his sentence, he was interrupted by the sovereign of the world. Now, fans know that Imu isn't a god but instead a greedy monarch who seized the empty throne for themselves. This also means that Imu swore to never sit on the empty throne themselves long ago. There are 19 weapons in front of the empty throne and, as Cobra mentioned himself, Imu was one of the 20 or related to them. The only person who did not put their weapon in front of the throne was Queen Nefertari D. Lily, and that was because she did not intend to become a celestial dragon and instead wanted to go back to Alabasta to rule her people. The other 19 put their weapons in front of the throne, and this would mean that Imu's very own weapon would be in front of the throne as well. Despite that, somehow, Imu tricked the others and gained power, becoming the supreme ruler of the entire world. Imu and Queen Lily. Recently, fans also found out quite a bit about Queen Lily, thanks to King Cobra. As soon as he mentioned Lily, Imu entered the throne room, and a connection between the two was established thereafter. In One Piece 1085, it was made clearer that Imu and Lily knew each other very well, and that they hold a grudge against her. According to Imu, the people of the D were the enemies of those who created the world government. They were formidable people, however. Their strength dwindled, and currently, they are only a husk of their former selves, and most of them don't even know the true meaning of their names. The D would have been completely eradicated, however. It was Queen Lily who made sure that they survived somehow. Lily somehow spread the poneglyphs all over the world, and these texts have since then been safeguarded by various clans and races races in an attempt to bring the eventual dawn of the world. Lily herself met her end in an unknown manner, however. Fans are more than certain that Ima had something to do with that. In the future, Oda will likely throw more light on this incident and show the fans how exactly Lily met her end. Even centuries after the death of Lily, Imu still blames her and pins the resurgence of the people of the D on her. Imu and the Gorosei despise the Nefertari family for this reason, and this was made clearer when they also eliminated Cobra, Imu as the sovereign of the world. As soon as the ancient kingdom lost the war, a new world order was created by the 20 monarchs, who had banded together to battle the superior combat prowess of the enemy. They moved to the holy land of Mary Ajoy atop the Red Line, and thereafter lived there, going by the name of the Celestial Dragons. Their respective countries elected new royal families, and their own names were erased from the histories of their countries to ensure a smooth transition in power. The 20 monarchs swore to never vie for further power, and were supposed to be equal in the eyes of each other. They put their weapons in front of the empty throne as a sign of respect and equality. However, somehow, Imu, likely one of the 20 monarchs, ended up as the ruler of the entire world. The others certainly ended up dying. However, Imu somehow survived. Given that they are immortal, there would have been nobody to challenge their power after the other 19 passed away. Imu has, since then, ruled as the sovereign of the entire world and created an entire order to protect themselves and maintain a firm grip over the world. Under Imu are the powerful Gorosei, also known as the Five Elders, who dispatch every command of theirs. They also have the power of the strong government officials, known as the Cipher Paul. The military face of the world government, also known as the Navy, is yet another massive power under Imu's control. It is quite easy to see that Imu is the most powerful as well as influential character in One Piece at this moment, and fans are more than excited to see what role they play going forward in the final saga. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.